I'm really looking forward to doing the book and expanding a bit on the Jeannie the Kelder and various others. The point is, I don't quite know everything that's going to happen, but I know where. I used to call this the valley full of clouds, where you look into the valley full of clouds, and then you can see like church steeple, and there's a tree, but you don't know what's in between. It could be a rushing torrent, it could be anything, it could be sheep, it could be anything. So you have to walk the valley to find out what's in there, and it uncovers itself for you. And that's how the book's going to be written. Most of it is in my subconscious. I absolutely know that. I think when I'm asleep, there's some guy in Australia, he's got timeshare on my brain. I wake up with a phrase on my lips, something like that, and that's an important thing. There we are.
Okay.
Maybe I should actually start giving you the answers, and then you can... Hello! Welcome to the age of technology. Maybe I should start out by giving the answers, and then you could work out questions for me.
Okay, here's another one. Why haven't there been any recent books about the witches, and especially Granny Weatherwax?
I do love the Irish word feck. And I hope there are Father Ted. The reason is that there haven't been any more is that I've only got one feck in life. These books take time, and so see, here's the basic proposition: writing this book means you don't write that book. It's a little difficult to understand, but it's kind of like one book and then another book. Also, while it's always tempting to write further books about a character, if I'd really fallen for that, you'd have had nothing but Rincewind books. And that would not have been a good thing. The watch has a long lifespan because I introduce new characters and new situations, and the whole thing does develop. The witches, to an extent, can I develop them more? Yes, to an extent. But unless you want Granny Weatherwax to die, well, there we are.
You dare kill her?
Then at the moment, she and Nanny Odd, unless and until I come up with a plot which requires them in the foreground, are probably in the background of Tiffany Aiken's life. And I think on the whole this is a kind of healthy way to write. Going back and doing an endless or lengthy series about one or two characters, eventually it just wears thin. There's other things that are worth doing.
What has been your favorite adaptation of one of your books into another medium?
A firm called Child's Play, working for the BBC, did a wonderful version of Johnny and the Bomb. They didn't get it wholly right, and no one ever really does, but they got the soul of it right. The budget wasn't huge, but there was some wonderful CGI, and there were some bits that really stick in my mind. Johnny Maxwell in a store. This is after the time has been altered, and he sees his mother, and I don't think it's his father, but I mean he's in other words, he's in the wrong universe, and she doesn't know who he is. And you see his pain, and he, you know, his life is imploding. But there's on the brighter side, because, you know, there's not many sides that would be darker than that. There's a scene where he is up on the hills, and they're pushing this trolley, and the bombers are coming, and you can see them behind, and it's wonderful CGI, these are the German bombers overhead. And they've got to get down and sound the alarm. And, you know, lots of the book has to be cut, but the soul of the book and the soul of Johnny are there. And also, there's a wonderful Mrs. Tachio, especially the bit at the beginning. You know, as we know, she appears to be mentally not all there. And there she is in this ruined house. And there's the German bomb, and it's going tick-tock, 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 and it goes with tick, and she says tock, and it explodes. But shall I tell you the best part? Here's the best part. This is how weird my world is. They built Paradise Street, and they built the chapel at the end of it. But when it was actually built on land that was in the Second World War a bomb factory. It had an underground system along which they pumped nitroglycerine. To be a fly on that wall. Hi, I'm pumping nitroglycerine. I'm going to sneeze. But anyway, for this chapel, I thought, God, there was a building on there. And I went up closer, and closer, and closer. And you could see where water would run down it, and you could see the way, and I noticed that water running down a building will take certain routes depending on what the shape of the roof was. And you could see the green algae that grew in those little crevices where that got most. And I went and then knocked it, and it was made of bloody plywood and plaster. And I was, when I go and see the film, various things, I put it like this. If I'd known about set design when I was a kid, I wouldn't have been Terry Pratchett the writer. I'd be in the back of some film studio somewhere, snotting things up, making things look older. It's I treasure a visit I made when they were doing Colour of Magic. Colour of Magic. And I pointed out that the Arch-Chancellor's study, though wonderful, wasn't dusty enough. And we overheard a couple of the stagehands saying, look, I knew my stuff about this. And they went out and got a little machine that made it dusty. And they introduced us to the term snotting up. Two words we know. Snotting up, which is just a wonderful one, and chutney. Chutney in these things, stuff that's superfluous. Can we get rid of all this chutney around here? So what I like about these things is getting involved, not so much at the script end, but on the presentational end. But I've got a soft spot for Johnny and the Bomb because it's a book I very much enjoyed writing. And small though the budget was, they did it well. I mean, equally, I don't think you could ever get hold now of Johnny and the Dead. But that had a wonderful cast. And the scene where